Hi, Mikel.
Hi, Rob.
It's a massive night tomorrow night against Liverpool. How big of a moment in your season does this feel?
Well, we have the opportunity to get into a final, which is closer to our title, against a big opponent in our stadium with our people. So we are very excited to play the game.
How important do you think the role of the fans will be tomorrow night? We've seen how good they've been this season.
They are able to change the energy, the momentum of the game, give a massive lift to the player, give them confidence. So if they can drive the team the way they've been doing recently, that would be incredibly helpful to have the best possible chance to get in that final.
Just generally, how good do you think the atmosphere has been at the Emirates this season? Ever since the fans returned, it seems to have gone to another level.
Well, obviously the way to play in that stadium when you have your people next to you and the way they've been, how encouraging, supporting, loud, really creating a bond with the team and being and part of the team, it makes a huge difference. It's one of the best atmosphere I've seen for many years at the Emirates, and I've been in a few of those. So I can just thank you, the fan, for the support that they are giving to the team.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Craig from Sky.
Yeah, Craig Slater, Sky Sports. Good afternoon, Mikel. Can I take it, has your squad situation, player availability-wise, has it been transformed over the last few days? Can you give us an overview of your team news?
I can't, and I don't want to because I don't want to give anything away. I'm sorry. There are issues. The issue had not been resolved. That's why we cannot play the last game. But as you can understand, we want to keep that internally.
Are there any doubts that the game could head then, given what you've just said?
I hope that there is no more news from tomorrow and the game can be played. This is the way we have prepared.
Well, just in terms of fitness, I don't know if I could ask you about a couple of players specifically, but Emil Smith-Rowe, Takahiro Tomiyasu and Martin Odegaard, who we knew was coming out of his isolation period. What about their availability?
Well, again, there are three cases that for different reasons haven't been able to play for us in recent weeks. And we are trying to change and raise the level of those players to the best possible way to compete tomorrow.
Okay. Well, listen, obviously the North London derby didn't take place at the weekend. Tottenham made their frustration public. Antonio Conte talked of the postponement being strange and surprising. I mean, was it in any sense? Can you clarify how many players you had available for that? How many COVID cases you had?
We didn't have the players necessary to put a squad available to compete in a Premier League match. That is 100% guaranteed. But this situation is, I think, a no-win situation. When we played the first 3 games of the season, while other teams were postponing matches, and we played and we tried to play it, we were killed because they said, don't be naive, because if you have that many players out, don't play with your kids. And now we postpone the match for all the right reasons, believe me. And as well, you get those reactions. But I think they are normal.
Yeah. I mean, you have seen both sides of this. You forced to play the Brentford game earlier in the season when you were perhaps ill-equipped to do so. But can you understand supporters' confusion or maybe even the criticism now that COVID cases are not the determining factor in these cancellations?
I don't know if I understand. I'm telling you what we've done. And when the team has come to us and said we cannot play, and these are the reasons why we cannot play and the game has been postponed, we have never, ever publicly questioned any of that. And we will not, because that's why we have the Premier League and the FA and the regulators to consider and to find out and to do the due diligence necessary, which is a lot, to postpone a match to try to maintain the fairness of the competition.
Okay. When I move it on, I want to ask you about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. A lot's been reported about him this week. Can you update us on where he is right now and his medical situation?
Yeah, he's in London and now he's going through some examination because we haven't had any clarity from the Gabon national team about the reasons why he came back. So obviously it's our obligation to make sure that medically the player is safe, is in good conditions, and there are not any issues related to that. and to try to avoid any suggestion that's the case, because so far historically everything that we've done with the player, he's never had that issue. So hopefully that's the case.
Is there any chance he could go back to the Africa Cup of Nations? I mean, is it a missed opportunity for him? He tested positive, didn't he? If he'd had some game time, regained some confidence, could he have put himself back in your thoughts?
Well, but that's the situation that we have. He contracted COVID, and then the national team decided to bring him back here, and this is where we are. So let's go step by step. Let's again do the right examinations and make sure the player's health is in the best possible condition, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay. Last one from me. Ghana are out. What about Thomas Partey perhaps being available for your next league match against Burnley?
Well, they played last night. It was a huge disappointment for Tommy, obviously, because representing his country, and in this period he had big games towards the competition. He's out now, so he needs to be fully focused and involved now with Arsenal. When? As soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
George, BBC.
Thanks, Mark. Hello, Mikel. Have you had any new COVID cases at all over the past few days? I just wondered, any update, any new COVID cases?
No.
No. Okay. You mentioned that you played through Brentford and a COVID outbreak at the start of the season. Do you think people forgot that? And Arsenal fans were shocked at the scale of the criticism when the North London derby was postponed.
I cannot.
What was your thoughts?
That we've been very consistent. We play against Forest when we had 10 players out, and we tried to play, the next game and the next game. But and we went to Liverpool and we played, and we had many players out for that. When it get to a point where we could not put a squad available as the numbers required in this league to play a game, that's why we didn't play. As simple as that.
What do you say to some of these people that say, oh, you can play possibly the academy kids or throw them in? I mean, is that just not possible? That could set their career well back?
I just go back to the facts, and we have done that, and we have played with academy players, and we have played with 18, 19 years old players, where we already have the squad, the youngest squad in this league. So I think we've been through that, and we have to be consistent, and I think we've been really consistent. And tomorrow we have everybody available, as I expect. Not everybody, the players available as I suspect to play the match. We will play the match because we want to play football.
You're going to have a full squad next time you play Tottenham, you would hope. So are you saying it's important for the integrity of the competition that the best players are on the pitch at all the time, and that's one of the reasons too? I
don't think you're going to get it your way all the time here. I think you just expect that people follow the rules, that we are honest, and we try to maintain the integrity of the competition at the highest standards, because this is what we are obligated to do with the rules that we have in this league, and we have to always make decisions in that line.
Just in terms of the game tomorrow, considering the problems you've got, the injury problems you've got, does that mean Liverpool are favourites tomorrow night?
We're going to put the strongest team that we can, with only one intention, is to jump there, and after the final whistle, we are in Wembley playing that final.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Ian from TalkSport.
Cheers, Mark. Apologies that my video isn't working. Hi, Mikel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Mikel, I've spoken to quite a lot of managers over the last few days, obviously because there are a lot of games. And nearly everybody says the rules now need to be more transparent in terms of why games are being pulled off. Because if you had like 5 players out through COVID, that's fine. But when teams start adding injuries and international call-ups, that starts to make a bit of a mockery of things. Do you agree with that? We need to be more transparent and know exactly how many players fall into each category.
Yes, but I think you have to do that from the beginning. To ask halfway to somebody change, and when I want to be transparent, I'm transparent. When I don't want to be transparent, I'm not transparent. Is tricky and is a little bit manipulative. So I think everybody has to try to do the right thing, and if we have to change things, let's change them. But let's all act in the same way.
And while nobody would in any way, shape or form say that Arsenal or indeed Burnley last night broke the rules, a lot of people are questioning why Arsenal's under-23s were able to play last weekend and Burnley's under-23s were able to play last night, and yet the first team weren't. I mean, to go on for a question you just answered with George, why is it possible to field an example of a whole 11 of under-23s rather than let the game be postponed?
Yeah, but there are a lot of things we cannot control. Is those fixture lists are already set, and we have the same problem. And we have players that have issues with vaccination. We have players that are coming on loan for different reasons, but they are in our list. But we just brought them in because they were injured and tried to help them because it's our responsibility. So the whole thing is pretty tricky to manage.
Absolutely. And the Liverpool assistant manager said today he felt that they were written off last week, Liverpool, after the goalless draw with you at Anfield. Therefore, saying your favourites. What do you respond to that?
I would love to feel that way. It's a game to play. It was just half time. There is another very competitive match to be played. And as I said before, we will play to be in that final.
With your squad problems, obviously the game can go 2 hours tomorrow night plus penalties. I mean, have you got a strong enough squad, without naming the starting 11, a strong enough squad to be able to go 2 hours?
Yeah, we would have the players that we have, and again, whether we play 90 or 120 minutes and penalty, only with players that they have the belief that we can win the game and play the importance of that game. That's it.
And finally, from me, you mentioned at the top how important this game was because it's a place in the final at Wembley. Obviously, you started off your Arsenal career by winning the FA Cup, so I guess if you could get to Wembley and win another trophy, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely, and this is why we're here, to bring success, bring trophies, and joy to our people, and keep doing what historically this club has always done, and that's our aim.
Good luck tomorrow. Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Nick?
Hi there, Mikel. Do you think
Hi.
the reaction to Arsenal postponing a game has been a bit hysterical, a bit over the top? But do you think it shows that the club are back on the radar, that people start hating them again, that people are getting worried about Arsenal again?
I don't know. I think more than hate, there is a lot of respect for Arsenal, and that's something that comes from the history of this club, how it's always been acting and how it's always behaved and how it's always conducted in many different moments, in high moments, in low moments, and we need to keep doing that. We know that we did the right thing, and we worked together with the Premier League and the FA to make that decision and to explain the reasons why. And I think if anything, we've been very, very honest, at least.
I understand, but it's also within the history of the club that people don't like Arsenal, and sometimes managers will use that as a positivity to say, look, go out there and show them. People don't like us. They think we're no good. They think we're cheats or whatever it is. Go and prove them wrong.
Absolutely, and we would defend our club with teeth and nails, and we're not going to get anybody damaging our name or trying to lie about things that they haven't occurred. We will make mistakes. We will put our hand up, but we will defend our club in a really strong way.
Thanks. Another couple of things in the news have been obviously some players coming in and going out. Sead Kolasinac and Pablo Mari. Why have you decided that they're no longer needed at the club?
Well, for different reasons. With Kola as well, obviously the game time that he's had has made it really difficult for him to be in the team. His contract was ending at the end of the summer, so we believe that it was the right option to now execute that possibility. The player wanted to go. He had a good option, and it was a good option for the club as well. With Pablo, it was much trickier, but again, with the injuries and the history he's had at the club since he joined, he's a phenomenal professional. He hasn't had the minutes again this season. It was going to be difficult for him to play more minutes, and a good opportunity came, and we have to be open to that.
And finally, you brought a couple of players back in from loan, Miguel Aziz and Tyrese John Jules. Will they go straight into the first team squad, and why have you brought those guys back?
Well, Mikel had COVID, so he's not been involved at all. Tyrese, we brought him back for different reasons. The loan spells that things that we wanted to achieve with them weren't happening, so we decided to call them back, sit down, think, and now talk and discuss what's the best plan forward. And within the context that we are in as well, if they can help with some numbers, good.
Or they could even go out on loan again?
It's a possibility we're going to explore now when we have some normality after the Burnley game, that we have a break and the transfer window starts to shut, what the best options are for each individual.
Okay, thanks for your time. Cheers.
Thank you.
Simon.